Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good evening. This is your girl Casey McDaniel coming to you with this news. Okay, as I've been doing more research on this Sean Puffy Cone shenanigans, all that's taking place around his his investigation. I just got the news about the young man Rodney Jones' case is going to be thrown out because they're not going to be able to use him. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. He's a groupie. Okay. He was a groupie. He was one of those people that came into the parties that Diddy would give and planted himself there. He planted himself there. He tried to get in where he could fit in and tried to get to become some kind of producer and songwriter and everything with Sean Puffy Combs. And he was willing to put out to do whatever he had to do to get in where he could fit in. So his civil case is not going to stand. So he had to come with all of this stuff about being drugged and having to perform essay, you know, perform with people, with women, and with men, while Puffy would do certain things to himself or whatever. Whatever, he had to make it sound so exaggerated to make it believable. So as I'm doing my research and I'm listening to the nonsense of all of, the alleged things he put out there in his civil case with Puffy and his lawsuit. And then when I saw the dude like on social media, Instagram or one of the social media his one of his social media accounts or whatever, he was on there asking people to help him out with some money so he could pay for his attorneys because he's going up against this fight with Puffy and he really don't have the money to pay for the legal team that he needs to build so that he can get uh have a successful fight with Puffy or whatever with Sean Puffy Combs. I'm not so good at this. I'm just trying to give you information that I picked up from what I've observed, from what I saw from my research here. As I'm listening to things coming up about this man every day, something's developing each and every day. So now they don't really find any interest in his story, in his claims, because they saying like um, first of all, his age, because he was of age. It wasn't like he was a child when he came into. Hi, how are you, Rules? Oh, I'm giving you the update now from what I observed, and I'm just sharing this with you. Okay. So anyway, so he's trying to build the case against Puffy, a civil case, whatever, and he's trying to get a money grab. So he's trying to say that the Rodney Jones they call or something, whatever his name. I can't even remember. That's how irrelevant he is and how stupid he is. Because when I saw him on social media asking for the money, when I saw him on social media asking for money for him to fight this civil case and get a legal team so he could come up against Puffy Combs, knowing that Puffy got all his money with the best attorneys. And I like saying, dude, before you came with this claim, you should have had all your ducks in a row. You should not have ever tried to insert yourself into something and try to pick a fight with somebody and come with a knife and they got nothing but machine guns. Like, really, dude? And I'm like laughing because it's funny, but it's not funny because this shows you how people be out here, they be at some desperate, they would do the most desperatest thing and to come after somebody because they already know that this man is under a lot of attacks. So they jump on the bandwagon. Hey, King, how are you? Yeah, so they jump on the bandwagon and see if they can get they self a bag. Cassie, she got her bag, and they settled it behind closed doors, whatever the settlement was. Nobody really knows how much she really got from her settlement. And that was probably part of the deal. She knew that the feds are coming for him. She says, look, I'm out of the business with you. I can't escort you around no more. I can't play your beard. So I gotta get my money. I gotta get my bag and I got to get out of here. I gotta go on with my life and da 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 da. That was the arrangement. As far as I'm concerned, this whole thing with Cassie and Diddy, I feel it was that was how they arranged it to be. Well, actually, I don't think Puffy arranged it that way with her, but I believe she just wanted to get out. And she was going to just try do anything she can to make sure she come out with a bag. Okay, she just wasn't gonna come out without getting anything. All of that stuff she got in because after what happened with R. Kelly, people got smart. They was like, look, if R. Kelly, they gonna leave women because men been getting away for a long time with things that have been done to women in the business. So this is now we in the new presidents and these things are now part of the lawsuits because a lot of times these victims, real victims, women that have been victimized or whatever by powerful men with money and everything else like that, was never heard. They were always shut quietly down or maybe had disappeared or whatever. So I guess Cassie is like, look, I'm gonna get my money because Puffy, you know, they watching you. She know the deal. So she got her money and quietly went away. They settled that thing so quickly. That's how I know either Puffy could have said it. Look, none of these allegations are true, and I'm just going to have to fight it in court. None of this is true. Everything we did was consensual as adults. You knew whatever when you got this relationship involved with me. You knew what the deal was. You knew what we was about. And you was gonna ride with me and blah blah blah. But somehow or the other, I guess she wasn't gonna ride no more with him and she wanna get her money and she wants to get out. She she got her bag. Now this dude, and then all of a sudden all these other cases came against him, women coming against him with these lawsuits about being sexually abused, him making them perform sexual acts with them and doing certain things and um, being part of the sex workers team and everything else like that. So everybody's looking for their little cut, just like they did with R. Kelly. Now, those of us know what happened with R. Kelly, how all his people just started getting away. Everybody wanted to get away from R. Kelly because nobody wanted to be attached to none of that. Um, Everything was cool when everything was going fine for him, but Puffy had his revolt. They pulled away from him. Macy's got away from with Sean John with his clothing line. A lot of people, all his business associates and everything, they all getting away now. They all, hey Johnny, how you doing tonight, Frankie? I'm a little hoarse, y'all. I had a sinus infection. Yep. So they all trying to pull away from Puffy right now, but I'm just like listening to this Rodney, whatever he got this bootleg attorney named Blackburn or whatever this bootleg, and I know this attorney. He sounds so familiar. I mean, I'm trying to remember who he represented before, and it didn't go well. He's not a good attorney. He's not a really good attorney. So he's bootleg. So anyway, that's what I'm saying about how they coming for Puffy. They not gonna want to use somebody like a dude that voluntarily put himself in an uncompromising position to be in the parties, having sex with the women and the men and orgies and doing the drugs and whatever else go on at the Puffy freak offs. Okay, this person who voluntarily put themselves in the Puffy freak offs at the yachts, at his home and his condominiums in New York and places in Florida, Miami, and his other home out in LA. this Rodney dude, and he giving all this information about how he got cameras all over the room and everything else like that. So he can make it sound really, really believable. But of course, they gonna use that to search and not overlook anything, just in case. But they already knew this dude was just looking for whatever money he can get or to get famous out there, whatever. But nobody, he's just one of those type of dudes. So the Puffy's attorneys already came and said dismiss this case, blah blah blah, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna even look for this guy to be not even the bad witness if anything do happen, if Puffy do get indicted, and this thing has to go from these civil cases to a much higher, you know, court, which is going to be a federal charge against him. And plus they coming for him. What they trying to come for Puffy on is they trying to get him on a doing having misconduct with minors. And the minors that they gonna seek out and they want to speak as witnesses against Puffy, and I'm gonna tell you who they are. The people that they right now gonna use is going to be Usher and Justin Bieber. Pay attention. They want to use Usher and Justin Bieber against Puffy. Because when he had them under him and was grooming them, they were minors. Usher was no more than, I think, maybe 10 years old. And um 10 or maybe something like that. Because sometimes these celebrities, when they're young and they in the business and stuff, they don't give them, they always make their age younger than what they supposed to be. They and believe me, they working on Jay-Z as well. They working on Jay-Z because I watched the whole thing. They was talking about Jay-Z relationship with, again, Aaliyah, um, Foxy Brown, and it was another young girl he was involved with as well. And then the age that he got involved with Beyonce, even though he married Beyonce, and they have a family and all that together, but they probably Beyonce probably gonna pull away from him or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. See, things are just gonna get messy with them two. I could tell you that right now. But while they working on Puffy, they working on Jay Z as well. He's going to be the tip of the iceberg. Okay, the tip of the iceberg. So he's laying low. He's probably lawyering up right now, getting all his. He got his money out there, doing whatever he got to do to, get the best team of legal team, and he giving him time, whatever he's gonna do to get himself out of the situation. He's gonna be eventually coming to, facing, because that's how they do. And they got all these people gonna pull away from you. If you on your own, you ain't got no more friends. You friends when it comes to trouble, you ain't got no friends. It's just gonna be standing you alone. So they gonna be for Puffy. They are definitely gonna try to use Usher and Justin Bieber, because Usher was a minor. He was underage when he went under to live with Puffy. And they're going to use Quincy. I'm not going to be surprised if they're going to start using the so-called adopted son. No, Frankie, not Diddy. Diddy doesn't have a bad lawyer. Diddy got a powerful. I think he has a really powerful legal team. His legal team is more powerful than R. Kelly's, than what R. Kelly had. Because remember, Diddy was dealing with people with the high elite people. Diddy was with the high elites. R. Kelly was with the. I don't even want to talk about put R. Kelly in this, but he didn't have a good legal team. Steve Greenberg, mm-mm. He didn't keep a good. His stats are disgusting. Okay, they did R. Kelly wrong, for real, for real. And he didn't do half of the stuff these people did in the industry. They keep trying to hang this thing over his head with this Aaliyah stuff, and I'm just so sick of it. And they keep attaching him with these people. And R. Kelly didn't really mess with these people. All R. Kelly did was write music with them, and everything he did with them was just music. I don't even think R. Kelly really partied with any of these people, to be honest with you. No, I'm talking about this guy that's trying this dude named Rodney Jones, one of supposed to be P. Diddy victims, claiming to be a victim. He out there saying he was a victim, but he wasn't no victim. He was a groupie. And he was just one of those people that was trying to get in where he could fit in. And he was looking for um he's just looking for some fame and some money. Diddy's attorneys, they made their statement. They came back with their statement to with his claim, and they came back and said what they said, and they accurate with it. They like, yo, this dude just looking for, a payday. And there's a lot of people just looking for a payday. But the thing with Cassie is that Cassie and Diddy probably already had this business arrangement, and he probably wasn't going to give her what she felt what she wanted to get. He probably was trying. So she took him and she put all of that out there to open it up for him. Like she knew these people gonna come for him. Eventually, they was coming from him, and there's a lot of stuff was working behind things that just wasn't getting out here to the public, but things was already happening with Diddy with that after that lawsuit he had filed against the liquor company that he worked for, distributor that he advertised for, or he had some business with or whatever, called Diageo. Diageo, whatever, that liquor distribute. That's when what's her name was like, Cassie was like, "Yo, I'm out of here," because they gonna come for you now, and I want to make sure I get my money before anything jumps off. you know. So and then she had to come with her claim about abuse and rape, and I don't want to say the R word, but she want to come with her abuse and give them all of this other stuff to really try to get her money. That's what that's about. And you notice she got quiet afterwards. She ain't out here talking much about him. She ain't on no platform. She ain't doing no tours. She ain't doing none of that. She got her bag and she took off. She took off somewhere. She's staying quiet somewhere. Because she know it was her part of her deal with Puffy, and they she was his escort. You could say just the escort. She wasn't really no real true girlfriend. She was just something to make it look like he was in a relationship with somebody, but he really wasn't. Because after Kim Porter, um that's another thing that's weird and crazy, is that her relationship was Puffy for the 9 years they were together, and she was with um I'll be sure they were married and had their son in through their union. And why was she had her son in that around that environment? Why did she put her son in that environment with her relationship? Why didn't this boy ever go live with his father? Why wasn't he ever living with I'll be sure? That's people want to talk. People is like, everybody's questioning that. Like, what's going on here? That why was Quincy and his relationship with his father is so estranged? You know, it's not like they have a real father. He seems to be more like he's more loyal and more there for Diddy than he is for his own father. Well, his father was in that coma and everything. I ain't had nothing out there with Quincy going to see about his dad, or out there on social media saying anything about keep my father in prayers and my dad or whatever. You didn't see none of that. And every time he did take a picture with his dad, why was Puffy in the picture? Not him, his mom, and his dad. But if you ever see the pictures, the photos, is always photos with him, his father, and P. Diddy. And I'm like, wait, this is kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? And he's still like, um, kind of like idolize Puffy. And the people that they gonna come and they're gonna try to get to talk against Puffy is Quincy. Usher and Justin Bieber. I bet you any amount of money they're gonna use those three males because they were minors under him. When all of this stuff, this talk is that Puffy was always trying to get with little young boys, and he was even trying to get with Chris Brown. He even tried to, get Chris Brown, and then those little the BK5 or whatever that little boy group was back in the new millennium that he had produced, or he was supposed to have been what you call it, managing that group or whatever. They gonna try to get those kind of kids to come against Puffy for his misconduct with minors. They're not going to use this Rodney dude. This Rodney dude was just trying to get a bag, and he just basically somebody that put out there about the sex, the drugs, and all the other things that were going on with the freak offs or whatever. But other than that, they don't want to use him. They're not going to use his case. They're going to throw that stuff out. They just needed something that they needed to be able to get a raid into his house, to get a warrant so they could go into his um place, his home and everything, and get what they need to get out of there. They just had to have a reason. Other than that, they already used him for whatever they needed to use him for, and now they moving on and they trying to get in. And believe me, the evidence that they have stuff, and they building their case. They getting their discoveries together. What they have discovered. They don't go into your place like that unless they have something. They have to. They going to go. And then it was funny because somebody had asked a question on one of these platforms that was talking about it, and they like more like a news channel or whatever, and they had some people on the platform that was talking, some lawyers, a lawyer team, and some people that work with the investigation under Homeland Security and all that. And they said, people asked, why didn't they search his yacht? They said, you don't know if they had to search his yacht. They searched everything, all his property. They didn't tell you every place that they searched, but believe me, they did every property that Puffy has. They went in and they searched it. Cars, they did cars, they did any place that every property that he has, whether the property belongs to his daughters or the property is in the names of his children or whatever, they gonna search it. That's how they work. They didn't put everything. They just said they rated. If they said they rated his two homes, the one in Florida, because Puffy got other property in other places too. They're gonna search everything when they building a case, and it takes a while. And that's the thing they said. Why if they gonna raid you, they didn't arrest him? I said because they building their case, and the three witnesses that they need, the three people that they need to get him on a RICO is what they looking for, to charge him for, is those minors, those young minors. They looking for Justin, um, those BK5 boys, um, like I said, and also Usher, and who else I said? Usher, I'm missing somebody. Justin Bieber. Those are the young boys they're gonna want to use to speak against Puffy, and when they go up against him in his federal case. Those are the ones they're gonna want to use for the statute of limitations and his misconduct with minors and grooming these young boys, how he used intimidation, manipulation, or whatever. Everything that they did on that R. Kelly platform, I mean, excuse me, in that R. Kelly trial, but his is going to be a whole lot more because there's drugs involved, there's um, guns, there has been cases of people being shot. Because remember, they said they found guns in his house. Of course, you know they're gonna they looking into these guns because remember the guy said somebody was shot and this whatever dude Rodney dude said somebody was shot or whatever at some function with P Diddy, and they're gonna look into all of that. And now they got that girl out there who says she was shot in the face in that club, and they're gonna reopen that case again. They gonna do that's what they gonna do. They gonna reopen up that case again about that gun that they coming for J Lo. She is a witness. She's another witness. They coming for J Lo. They gonna come for all of that because these people ain't gonna go through doing all of this stuff without trying to get something. you know, making they not gonna make themselves look stupid like they did this just to say, oh wow, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have never came at him like this. And they know that these people ain't got no money. The guy, whatever his name is, the one who put these claims out, these people ain't got no money. These people gonna want to get some money. And they going to come for him. They going to arrest him. They not gonna tell you when they gonna do it. Remember when they did it to R. Kelly? They how they did everything. They had people saying, like some of these people, they did the docu series, they did the this, they did the that. And remember, his house was robbed. They're supposed to have been robbed and everything. They went into his home. His home was robbed and things was taken out of his home. That's when they was looking for all the discoveries and all that. How they went. I'm telling you. And they're not gonna. How they gonna get Puffy? Is they gonna have to get him without making a scene? The same way they had to do it to R. Kelly. They did it without him making a scene. He went out walking his dogs, and that's when they just pulled him and took him, brought him in. First, they made a scene. They did it the wrong way. They let him out when they took him in after the Gayle King show, and they came at him and they said it was for child support and all this other stuff. Remember, they froze up all his money. He didn't have any money to pay for child support, and they tried to make it. They had to put Drea out there to make it seem is she going on platforms talking and saying how she was being abused as a wife and all they going to get what they going to get, but they not going to do it where they going to tick him off when they coming for him. He know they going to be coming for him. That's why he was out there with his two daughters playing golf, doing all of these things with them like it nothing ain't really. He's unbothered, but believe me, he's stressed. He know they coming for him. He know they coming for him. And the thing is they gonna have to get Quincy. They're gonna have to put the pressure on Quincy to be somebody to say that when he was a young boy and he was living there and look at all of the scenarios. Look at everything that has happened. Cassie got her bag and flew the coop. And and it's not like they haven't been watching Puffy for a long. They've been watching for a long time. And when did he file that lawsuit against Diageo or whatever that liquor distributing company or whatever? In these parties and everything, they've been on him for a long time. And then I really wish this wasn't happening to him. I really wish not. I wish the man could just have lived his life and continue to be the mogul in the business that he is. Because Puffy, for some reason, he never bothered me. He wasn't really somebody that really I did not. I wasn't a fan, but I kind of like did grow up listening to because I never really got involved with all the celebrities, all the stuff that go on in their bedrooms and their privacy of their lifestyle or whatever. I never really took part of that. And I still really don't. But since it's like so over the internet all day and every day, another channel popping up talking about P. Diddy, it's just like you can't not talk about it, like have a conversation about it because it's so over the news, it's over the network. I'm getting on my phone, bing, um, P. Diddy this and da da da. Da. It's like it's not something you cannot talk about because it's so all over the place. The conversation is just like everywhere right now. But I'm trying to look at it in a way, and I already know how they're gonna come for him because after what took place with Robert Sylvester Kelly, I know they're gonna come for Sean Combs, and then they're gonna make their way up to Diddy. It's not Diddy, to Jay Z. Especially when they start bringing up stories about, and the only person that's going to really stay loyal to Sean Combs through all of this stuff is going to be Little Kim. They even trying to say that Sean Combs got Mary J. Blige pregnant and made her have an abortion. Because remember, he worked with her when she first came out, with Mary J. Blige. I saw you before, baby. And I think that was when she was with Uptown Records. She wasn't with Bad Boys. Little Kim was with Bad Boys, but Mary J. Blige was with Uptown. Yep. And some other people. Oh God, there's so many people I'm trying to remember, but it's been 30 something years ago. And those were the days when I used to love to go out dancing. Me and my husband both, we used to love back in those days. You know, we used to party a lot. That was 30 years ago, y'all. 30 something years. And notice that how they doing this, like these things took place 30 years ago. And another thing that was interesting that a civil rights black female attorney was talking about, that she didn't feel that the way that the Homeland Security people, how they handled the raid at P. Diddy's homes, were that they think they did too much, because that's not what they did when they went in for Jeffrey Epstein or whatever his name, and Harvey Weinstein and all of them. They didn't make a big scene like that. They didn't do all of that, handcuff their kids and bring them out and everything. They didn't do that. And right there, that just shows you how they treat certain people when they have to, do some kind of investigation. That wasn't to have their kids handcuffed and bringing them out and making that raid, and making it so, you know, putting on the scene like they all of that, like a military with tanks and guns, and all, like a whole military, from the land to the to helicopters and everything. It's just like they didn't do all of that stuff with Jeffrey Epstein, and they didn't do that stuff with Harvey Weinstein either. Make a big scene like that. So why did they have to do all of that? Well, thank God they didn't do it like that either with Robert. They didn't even make a scene like that with Robert. We didn't even we only seen it when, they was just they arrested him for child support. Remember, the first time it was for child support. Remember, he turned himself in, then he got bailed out the next day, whatever, he was home. Then he went on the Gil King show. He had his little interview with that, and that's when they came for him again. No, they arrested him then, and then he got out again, and then when they finally did bring him in, they did it quietly. We didn't hear about it until, like, when it says, yeah, Denzel did go to Johnny. Denzel did talk about it, and he didn't talk about it no more. He just like said, hey, they even showed it when Denzel was leaving the party. Denzel was like, once it got to a certain time and the freak offs, Denzel just said, I'm out. And Lover said the same thing. And Lover says, I've always worked with Diddy and it's always been about music. And I have been to his parties, but I always left. It was never anything such as I saw any freak offs, any such a thing like that, nothing like that. And as soon as you said you went to a Diddy party, everybody automatically think you was part of, you got involved with some of the freak offs, and it wasn't like that with everybody. Everybody didn't go there for that. Some people just came to support him. They came to his birthday celebrations, happy birthday. They came to celebrate with him when he won um awards, and he would give his little his parties for that. People come to celebrate him and everything else like that, and they leave. Not everybody came there for drugs and loose women and all of that stuff. Not everybody. Some people just come just to show they respects. And I'm sure not all his parties were all about what people saying they about. I don't think they all was about that. Maybe once in a blue moon he just throw a random party because Puffy used to like the party. And the thing about it is that I think he graduated with a degree in he do have a good education. I think he went to Howard. See, that's the difference between him and R. Kelly because R. Kelly didn't have a high education. Well, Puffy did. Puffy's a college graduate. And he might even have his master's for all I know. I think he might have his master's. Heavy D was an educated, you know, um, man as well. As Heavy D had an education in communications in the arts, and I think Puffy has a education also in the arts and communication in the arts. And he probably got a. I think if you do, maybe you could probably do a look up on him if you're interested in finding out where his level of education is. But I know he's a college graduate. I know that for sure. But that party and stuff, man, that should teach all black men that's become successful and in the world of business and everything. Some things you just can't be so flamboyant about when you got money. You just gotta sometimes just stay low key. Not saying you can't. I think you live in more when you stay low key than out there being flamboyant and flashy. And I think the thing with Puffy, he was very flashy. You see him wearing shirt, what you call them, chillers, those fur coats, and all this extravagant dressing, very flamboyant and out there where everybody got to know that I'm P Diddy is in the house. Like he has to make himself be seen, and people don't like that. People hate that. People hate when you arrogant and you flash, even though you like the dress in a certain kind of way. Sometimes not everything he wore was like that. Because I still see him dressed down in outerwear, and now he just walking around with no shirt on. He dressed on. Now he trying to look like a real dude from the hood. Like he preparing himself for that life now. Like he walking around with no shirt on. His gut is all out, unshaven. He's just the last video I seen of Puffy, besides the one they had of him pacing back and forth when he was at that airport, at that private airport. When you saw him, he was like out in some shorts, and he just looked like a regular old dude out in the hood. I was like, yo, he was looking all chunky and everything, unshaven and stuff. And then he was out playing golf with his two, you know, his twin daughters. And the thing is like what Albie Shore said, keep the young people lifted up. And he said that for a reason. Because of what they're gonna have to know about their father, what they have to go through this experience in their life for. This is gonna be a lot on them. Even though they celebrity children, they still those are their parents. That's still their parents. And especially for Quincy. It's really sad for Quincy and yeah, Quincy and for his other son, for King, the one they call King, which is supposed to be his birthday today. And these hypocritical, these fake people, they out here saying happy birthday to him, but then again, they dragging his father all on the internet. I mean, really? They telling him happy birthday, but they dragging his dad. I mean, these people are so fickle, fickle. People are fickle. But anyway, um, King, his son King, and his other the two twin girls he had, the ones he had with Kim, those children, you got to keep them in prayer. You got to keep them in prayer because it's really heartbreaking that they lost their mom for her premature death, and now seeing their father eventually going to be going to jail. And you could imagine. Now the twins, they young. They I don't know how old are the twins now. They 18 maybe, 17, 18. They very young. And then there's another young member to the family, another little girl he just had, but I don't know if that's with Kim. And she had the son King. I know King is his son he had with Kim. Quincy is his adopted son. That's Kim's son, but it wasn't his son. Um, but wow, that's sad. I could imagine what them young people are going through, and I'll be sure did say that. Like, keep those young people lifted in prayer. Keep them lifted in prayer, especially for the ones who lost their mom. And I'm sorry, everybody say her death, she died from pneumonia. I don't think she died from no pneumonia. I think Kim took herself out. I think she got tired. I think she started getting depressed. Um, she started to feel some kind of way about the choices that she made, especially being in the relationship, being with Diddy in this relationship for the 9 years that she stuck in there with him. And he never married and had children with him, but he never married her. He never married her. And that's, I don't know why their relationship was like that. She was hanging on for dear life, but he never married her. But at least I'll be sure and her were married. They were young, but he did do the right thing. He did marry her and have a child. They had one child in their union. I don't know if I'll be sure had any other children outside of the relationship he had with, besides being married to Kim. That's kind of crazy. And she met him when she was very young, because we all was like I know I'm a little older than Diddy. I'm about at least 3 years older than he is, so I know. And Kim died at the age of 47. And I think she was a little younger than him. She was very young, very, very young. She always had a beautiful smile on her face. She's very pretty. To me, she was very pretty. Um, all her kids are beautiful. They had some beautiful children. All Puffy children are nice looking. I gotta give it to him. He ain't a bad looking dude. He's not. He wasn't a bad looking dude. He looked like a Puffy, and I know his mother didn't raise him like that, because I remember when he first came on the scene, um, his mother seemed very much like kind of probably like strict with him. His mother didn't raise him like that. It's a lifestyle he just chose on his own that he wanted to follow. But his mother raised him to be a very respectable um young man. You see how what the world can do to your children? And I know she probably instilled a foundation of the Lord in him, but he chose to want to live that life of the money. Money change people, make people crazy, make you sick. Too much of anything is not good. He had too much money. Money make you do some crazy things. Make some people become at their lowest as living in a human mindset. It makes them become low. Well, anyway, y'all, I think I done said enough. But I just wanted to just come bring that what they gonna be coming for Puffy for. And I know they coming for him, and I know they're gonna use those young boys in whatever case they're gonna build against him. They're gonna use those statutes of limitations, and they're gonna use Justin Bieber, Usher, those BK5 boys, and there's one Jane Doe woman out there that said him and Aaron Hall supposedly had did whatever to her. Um, and she was supposed to have been at the time a college student or whatever. I don't know, something like that. But they not giving the name of that girl, and that case against they're gonna be open that case again with the woman that was in that New York club they was at, and she supposedly got shot in her face. And they're gonna also probably get drag Jennifer Lopez into it because she was a witness at the time there. And she was already arrested when it happened. So she did spend some time in jail, like 14 hours or something like that. 14 hours in jail when that arrest was made, when that shooting took place in the club, and that guy Shine spent 10 years for the shooting. He was supposed to have took the he was supposed to have took the fall for the shooting. Anyway, I got to go, y'all. So if anything else pops up, I'll be back here again with you tomorrow. So you all have a blessed and wonderful evening. Peace.